but we have got chef coming up who is a new one on the show, so we've still got so much more to come on Salaam Britain. Assalamu alaikum and welcome back to Salaam Britain Kitchen. Yes, as we mentioned before, today we are joined by a new chef, originally from Malaysia. She is a self-taught chef who loves experimenting and improving cuisines to make them healthier. About 10 years ago, she qualified as a salad master, cookware presenter, and has presented and cooked at various households in the UK.
She's also an Amazon #1 best-selling author of 2 books, which I'm looking forward for.
Yeah.
Whole Truth or Half Truth, and The Diabetes Solution. So that is the one book that I'm after. The later book includes some of the unique recipes, healthier options for diabetic people.
Yeah.
A very warm welcome to Petrina, our house chef today.
Hi, Petrina.
Hi. Thank you very much for welcoming me to this show.
You're very welcome. We are so glad that you are here. So what are we cooking today?
We are cooking a dry aubergine and tomato dry curry.
Sounds delicious, chef. I can't wait.
Let's go.
Okay, so on these ingredients, I've got my Salad Master pot in here. It's a very titanium pot, very easy to cook with. And what's important is, I learned this from my husband, you have to get a very good knife. That's a Japanese knife we have. And I've got my aubergine here. And I'm also going to add some bay leaves. Bay leaves are actually medicinal as well. These are from our garden. And going to use a bit of ginger. Now, most people, they cut the ginger, they tend to peel the ginger. We don't peel the ginger because the nutrients are actually just under the skin. And you'll actually learn all this as well. A bit of garlic as well. And some spices to make the curry paste. And these are actually fresh chopped herbs from our garden as well. We've got tarragon, which is like that, over here. And then we've got, this is a bit of like parsley, simple parsley, mint, and yeah, this is the apple mint and the normal other mint, various types. And I brought a bit of basil as well. Normally I would actually add coriander, but I didn't have coriander today, so these are just the spices that I'll be using. So what we'll do is we'll go. So what I'll do is I will chop up this aubergine first. First we'll just cut it here, like that.
You know, chef, speaking to before about this Japanese knife, you know, I was shown the dents in the knife that are used to actually create this knife. So it's not just manufactured in the shop or in a factory. So it's handmade to perfection.
It is.
And I've heard, if you slice it, you have to be really careful using this knife.
Yes, it's very really sharp, but it's got like this round here, this hole where you can actually put your finger in as well, so it's very safe.
I love that. Yeah. I've not actually seen that kind of knife before. Tell me a little bit more about the knife, chef.
So the knife is actually a Japanese-made knife, and it's really very sharp. It's like similar to like what the samurais use for the knife itself.
That's what I was about to come on to. That I've only seen those knives in the movies.
Yeah.
It's the first time having that in the kitchen.
Exactly.
Absolutely. So I've noticed, Petrina, you're using a lot of herbs.
Yes, we are, just to flavor it, and also herbs are actually very, very medicinal.
Okay. So the inspiration comes from your books that you have written.
Yes, that's right. There are some recipes, especially in the Diabetes Solution book. We've shared some of our diabetic-friendly recipes in the book as well. This recipe is actually not in the book, so I'll probably be writing another book soon to include this one.
I love that. Listen, I need to read the first book first before you launch your second one.
Yes,
so hold your horses, because it's going to take me a little bit of time to cook all of those dishes and recipes that you've mentioned that are in the book. And I'm super, super excited to actually go through them because it's such an interesting concept. But talk to me about, when you were going through the ingredients, you said, this is XYZ from my garden, this is XYZ from my garden. How important do you think it is for chefs or people alike that are cooking for their families to grow their own produce?
Well, when I was brought up in Malaysia, obviously we did eat out at some restaurants before. And what I realized is that, you know, whenever the restaurants, they garnish the dishes with herbs, most people would I was the one actually be eating the coriander and eating all the other herbs like parsley, and everyone else would actually be like, you know, just eating the dishes itself. And the herbs are actually so medicinal that it's really good and easy to actually grow it in your garden because you actually get it fresh.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you're going to buy herbs which are already pre-packed, the issue is it's actually oxidized.
Yeah.
So you won't actually get the, you know, the best value out of it, which is why a lot of people, when they say, oh yes, they're eating herbs, they're eating vegetables, they're actually eating vegetables that have been oxidized. So this is why also you can see I could have prepared this vegetable and pre-cut it before coming to the show, but I wanted to actually have it not oxidized so that it can actually be as fresh as possible. And you will see as well with the carrot, I'm actually also cutting it with the skin on as well. Most people, they actually peel the skin.
Yeah.
And that's where all the nutrients are as well.
Yeah.
I'm liking the idea that you're cooking all vegetarian dish, and over here, Tehreem, I know, don't be disappointed, Tehreem, you'll get your meat.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I'm going to have to go home and eat some meat now because, you know, you all know how much of a carnivore I am. But I do like a bit of vegetable. And to be fair, the way you're cooking it, Chef, and the fact that you're making it all fresh, that is such a huge attraction for me. Because that's one thing that I don't like doing is eating vegetables that are not fresh or have been overcooked, because you can't really taste the flavour.
Absolutely.
And you lose all the nutrients, more importantly.
Exactly. And you'll actually see that, you know, it doesn't take that long to actually cook this sort of dish. You can actually cook it within a few minutes. So a lot of people, they tend to say, oh, I don't have time to cook. That's really like, we all have time to watch TV. We all have time to commute to work. We work at least 8 hours a day, most of us. You just have to find like a few minutes to actually prepare your own food, and you actually get a lot healthier by then.
Okay, so you've got all the vegetables, you've chopped them all up.
Yes.
What's the next step?
So I'm just chopping the shallots now. The shallots actually like this. I've just reduced the skin itself. That's the shallot itself. And yeah, I'm just chopping that up again.
Why a shallot and not just a typical onion?
You can also use onions, red onions, if you want to, but I prefer shallots because it actually it gives a lot nicer flavor, basically.
Okay.
So that's it, and I've got basically I'm done.
Amazing.
So we can start the.
I was getting a bit, you know, a bit cautious when you were using the knife, the Japanese knife, and chopping, and I was like, oh God, if it was me, I would have cut my finger.
I'm very impressed, Chef. You've been talking to us, answering all of our questions, chopping away with that knife, and looking at the right camera. That is a skill.
That is skill, absolutely, absolutely. It shows your love for food and your skills and your experience in the food industry.
Lovely.
So
Okay.
what do we do next, Chef?
So what I've just switched on the electric cooker, just heating it up. I'm going to add a bit of oil. Now this is olive oil, which I have prepared myself with infused with a bit of chili and a bit of herbs as well.
So how do you infuse an oil? Do you?
I've basically just put it in the bottle, the olive oil bottle, or you can actually create your own bottle. And I've just put it with whatever herbs that you want, spices that you want. I've put this one, I put what I put is I put some coriander seeds, coriander seeds, cumin seeds in the garden from the kitchen as well. So I've just infused it. And chili there you can see a little bit of chili, which has come out from the pot as well.
Yeah. How long do we need to keep that oil for the infusion to take place?
I normally keep it for like a week or so, and I just top it up as I use it all.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you can see now the oil started to sizzle a bit. So I'm going to just add these coriander seeds and cumin seeds in there.
Cumin and coriander.
Yeah, coriander.
And you haven't crushed them, you're just using them as
No,
whole?
I'm just using the whole, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm a cumin person. I put a lot of cumin. If I can't put the whole cumin, I kind of use the powdered form of cumin in my
Exactly, which I'm going to use as well because I love cumin as well. So, yeah.
It brings out the vegetables for me.
It does, yeah.
So what did you put next after that?
So next I'm just going to put the onions and the garlic.
Okay.
So it flavors it a bit. So that's the onions and garlic here. You can see it's starting to cook already.
Yeah, we can hear the sizzle in the studio. Slowly. So Tehreem, do you cook more of much vegetables at home?
No. In my house, everybody loves meat, like even my little one, you know. So if there's no meat on the table, she'd be like, where's the meat? And but we do try and incorporate vegetables into our food, you know, whether it's through a salad or whether it's through a smoothie. But I definitely need to incorporate more vegetarian dishes into our menu. And this looks like a lovely one. I mean, it looks very colourful, and I can smell the flavours.
Not just that, my kids go, funnily, Chef, you have to listen to this. My kids go, whenever I cook meat, I was like, there's no veg with it. That's like, we got veg, it's the potato chips. Potato is a veg. And I was like, they're full load. What I'm liking in your recipe is it's very diabetic friendly because there's not too much starch apart from slight carrots and aubergine, so it doesn't have potatoes in it. So it's not going to rocket high my sugar levels, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, potatoes seem to be the ingredient that everybody puts in any vegetarian dish, which is what puts me off making veggie stuff because I'm not a huge fan of potatoes as a dish. As a condiment or as an addition, yes, but not as a main dish. So, Chef, how long do we need to let that fry for?
Just a few minutes.
Okay.
Just a few minutes. What you may not have seen just now is actually added some bay leaves as well.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah. So these bay leaves again are from our garden.
They're beautiful bay leaves.
Yeah, they
very
are.
big and clean.
Yeah, and they're green, to be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah,
Once
they're
we get from the shop, they're very dry. And like you say, you know,
Crumpled.
it's oxidized.
Yeah.
So that's why now all my thinking is changing regarding food. Like, you can't just buy it there. So you might come and see in my house, Tahreem, a few pots of herbs there now.
If she eventually invites me, I mean, she keeps saying she's going to invite me. She still hasn't.
The
I'm
house
just
is
having a
open.
rant on live TV.
Okay.
So, Chef, what are you doing now?
I'm just adding more curry powder, some cumin powder itself, paprika, turmeric, just to give it a bit of color, more color as well. And these are all medicinal as well. You can add that in.
Will you be able to share with us the quantity of the powders that you've added?
You know what? I have this issue that I normally just dash whatever. So, but if you really want quantities, it's like really like a small, maybe like a quarter of a teaspoon.
Chef,
I
you know
just
what?
go with
I
feeling.
don't think you're the only one that has issue. I think everybody has that issue. Even some of the top chefs that come here say, yeah, I do it to taste.
Yeah.
Whatever, you know, according to your taste buds.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got about 10 minutes to go.
That's okay. So while the aubergine is still cooking, I'm just gonna cut up the tomatoes. And the tomatoes, you can see I've actually not added any water
Yeah.
because there's juice from tomatoes which will be added as well. So it will be, like I said, it's sort of like a dryish curry, but it'll have slightly bit of moisture as well.
So the tomatoes add into the moisture of the curry. Okay.
And to color as well.
I mean, aubergine lets off some water as well, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah.
It does. Yeah.
Now, in terms of what to have with the vegetables, what would be a usual, you know, side dish to have with this curry?
You could have it with rice. Again, maybe on another show, I'll actually show you. We don't recommend white rice because white rice is actually one of the main causes of diabetes.
Yeah.
So we'll actually accompany with maybe brown rice, or you could do a bit like some bread as well, some roti.
Oh, that's how lovely you said it, roti.
Well, Malaysians also eat roti.
Yeah, we do.
And they have curry and stuff.
Yeah.
This is why I love Malaysian food, because it's so similar to the Pakistani and Indian cuisine, but at the same time it has such a unique taste of its own.
Different taste, absolutely.
Very, very different, yeah.
You know, there's this, years back that I've eaten a roti, and that was like a paratha, and it was very crispy and very flaky.
Yes.
And then the guy served us with the sweet roti, and it was overwhelmingly sweet.
Meeta paratha.
Yeah, like it was with condensed milk.
Oh,
so
yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, Malaysians do love their sweet or dessert. It was like, at the end of the dish, he said, like, you know, this is what we eat as dessert. And I was like, wow, that is sweet. So their parathas or their roti, what they call it, is lovely. Chef, could you make that once over here on the show as well?
This is like, you know, a
Request
show on the food segment. So what's next, Chef? What are we doing now?
Well, we're just waiting for the food to cook, and I said, you know, we can cook this in like 10 minutes, including preparation time. So
That's brilliant.
this is something I wanted to encourage people to actually just try in the kitchen
Yeah.
as an easy dish, and you can always, you know, keep healthy.
Amazing.
So, Chef, let's go back to your books. You know, like while this is cooking and we've got little time, let's discuss, you know, I'm really interested in the book that you've written regarding diabetics and what healthy eating or the guide that we can follow. And it's not just a recipe book, I believe.
No, it isn't.
Can you just tell us, audience as well, a little bit more about that book?
So what we shared in the book is basically most people, they think that, for example, diabetes is actually inherited.
Yeah.
Yes, you can inherit it through your genes, through your ancestry. However, that if you change the lifestyle that you lead, there is a chance you can actually not have that diabetes, although it may be run in your family. And a lot of your health is to do also with your mindset as well. So keeping a positive mindset and also maybe doing exercises for the mind and for the body as well, that will actually keep you healthy as well.
Petrina, as I said to you before as well, the book is so vast and the information that you have to share is so vital and so important to our audience, particularly the community that watches us, given our health issues that we start suffering from a very young age, and diabetes being one of those. There's definitely a mindset shift that needs to take place. So I'm very, very keen to have you on the couch to talk about your book, to talk about the content, and, you know, really like dissect everything that you have shared with us in the short few minutes that you have so far. So we've got 6 minutes.
We need a whole segment for that.
Yeah,
we can't do it in 6 minutes. We need a whole...
stay tuned, obviously, guys. Petrina will be back with the book and also the content, and also her partner, who has played a massive role in pulling the book together as well, inshallah. So coming back to the curry, it's looking good.
Yeah, it's already done. So what I'm going to do is add these herbs that I've chopped up. Remember, I brought some basil from our garden here, some fresh mint leaves as well, and a bit of tarragon. Like I said, normally people would garnish it with coriander, but we didn't have some today. So just garnish it and I've already turned off the heat anyway, so you just have to mix it. And that's
great.
it. It's done. It's very
so
colourful.
Mevish is going to come up and do a taste test today.
Yeah, by all means.
I'm going to let somebody else do the honour.
Just because it's vegetables, Tehreen.
No, not just because it's vegetables, because I know how much you appreciate vegetables. So anyway, the dish looks wonderful. It looks like it's brimming with nutrients, and it looks like it's brimming with nutrients and colour, mashallah. And it's definitely the kind of dish that I need to start serving up to my family and deviate a little bit away from that meat that we are so obsessed with. Although I'm not complaining. Now, as you can see, the chef is going to slowly start serving up the curry. It looks absolutely tantalizing. The colors have come together so nicely, and those of you that are watching obviously can't smell what it smells like, but the studio itself is wafting with the sense of the vegetables, the fresh herbs and the spices that Chef Petrina has used. So Mevish, before she does the taste test, how does that smell, Mevish? How does that smell? Can you?
You know, to be honest, I'm just admiring the colours in there, and you know, you need to, like I always say with the food, you need to feed your eyes first before you start tasting it.
Yeah.
And I'm just waiting for a little spoon to magically appear from here,
well,
so
I think
just dive into the dish and
one
do
of
my
the cupboards
taste
you'll
testing.
find one. So let's have a look at the books in that time.
Yeah, before we go to taste testing. We've got Petrina's book on the side here, and these were the books that I kept talking about non-stop. So if our audiences can see the diabetes solution and whole truth or the half truth on the screen. So these books are available on Amazon as well for you. Before, if you know, Petrina will let us know if there's another one in pipeline.
Yeah.
But before she releases another book, we need to read these two.
Yeah.
To get our health sorted, to be honest.
Definitely.
Right, let's have a taste of that food.
Before we go ahead, now it's the testing time.
Make sure you get a bit of everything.
Chef, could you please share with the audience the ingredients again?
So the ingredients were olive oil infused in chili, and then we've got the main ingredients: aubergine, a bit of carrots, a bit of a bit of shallots, a bit of ginger, tomatoes, and the herbs like tarragon, mint.
Amazing. Mevish, you look like you're enjoying that because you haven't actually told us what it tastes like.
You know what? I can have that without a side dish, to be honest, without rice and everything. Really? It's got so much flavor, and the textures, you get the crunchy carrots, you get the soft aubergine, and it's melting in your mouth. The freshness is coming, and the spices, they've got the kick, and the chili oil is there. So to be honest, I can taste everything.
Yeah, good.
So it is a definitely must-have for all vegetarians, or even as a side dish as well. If you are more of a carnivore, having this to the side would just complement any meat, to be honest.
It definitely looks like the kind of dry curry that you could have accompanying a piece of salmon or a grilled piece of chicken. Very diet friendly and very diabetic friendly, should I add. And I love the fact that the subtitle of the Diabetes Solution book is called A 23-Day Action Plan for Lowering Blood Sugar Levels. I love that. And thank you so much, Chef Petrina. We look forward to having you back on the couch to talk about diabetes in the very near future.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thank you.
So